phone, or a dog, or a chair.
What is going on?
But I let him have the Ambien, lots to spare. Return, however, I said fair is fair. You can let me have the baby that your wife will bear. And we'll call it square.
I had a brother.
Hello and welcome. My name is Nick Flip. I'm a composer and a vocalist, and we're going to be looking at Into the Woods by Stephen Sondheim. Now, I've never seen this. I've heard some of Mother Said Straight Ahead. I've heard that song, but I don't know very much about this show whatsoever. And, you know, last show I did, I reacted completely blind. And then today I went on the Reddit and looked up, how should I watch this show? And all of the comments said, go in blind. So, we're going in blind based on their order. So, I don't know anything about this show, and I'm hoping that doesn't bite me in the butt, this react. So, I hope you guys are into that. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a composer. I'm writing my own musical, Gilgamesh the Musical, and I'm also a vocalist. I've been singing and teaching music for over 10 years. So, it's time to get into it. This is part one of Stephen Sondheim's Into the Woods. I believe this is the 1989 original Broadway version. And there's that version versus, I think, the Disney version. But everyone was saying that if you want to get the full experience of Into the Woods, then you need to react to the 1989 original Broadway version, because there's even some omitted songs from the Disney one. And maybe if you guys want me to, I can release a Patreon exclusive react of the Disney one later on down the line. All right, let's get into it. This is Into the Woods by one of the greatest composers ever, especially for musical theater. Turn up a little bit. Oh, woo! Oh, isn't this about, if I know anything about this show, isn't it about Red Riding Hood? I think. That's my guess. Oh, it's like a 1989 version of a pro shop. No? The stage version? I've not seen any of this, obviously. Oh, it's a book, too. I guess this is the book where they go like this. And now we go to the stage! For 1989, this looks amazing. And it looks, again, like pro shop material. Now, hold on. Let me see if there's some captions here. Okay. Auto-generated.
Once upon a time,
Cool.
in a far-off kingdom,
I wish.
lived a fair maiden, a sad young lad,
I wish
and a childless baker
more than life.
I wish
with his
More
wife.
than anything.
more than the moon,
I wish
The king is giving a festival.
more than life,
I wish
To go to the festival.
more than riches.
I wish my cow would give us some milk more than anything.
I wish we had a choice.
I want a child.
Sad.
To go to the festival.
I wish we might have a child. I wish.
All right, so these are townspeople. Just to stop for a second. I mean, I just love, every time I hear a musical that's like written older than the pop ones that we have currently, it just fills me with joy to hear that older type of singing. I love that. Just the placement. I wish. You know, it's so high and back, and the vibrato is lovely already. And yeah, we're just getting started here.
You wish to go to the festival.
The poor
Yeah.
girl's mother had died.
You Cinderella, the festival. You wish to go to the festival. The King's festival.
And her father
Oh my
had taken
gosh,
for
they're
his
so
new
high up.
wife,
The festival.
a woman
The
with
festival.
two daughters of her own.
Look at your nails.
Look at your dress.
People would laugh at you. Nevertheless, she
Rude.
wants to go to the festival and dance before the prince.
All three were beautiful of face, but vile and black of heart. Jack,
Okay.
on the other hand, had no father, and his mother,
I wish,
well, she was not quite beautiful.
I wish my son
This
were
is
not
rude.
a fool. I wish my house was not a mess. I wish the cow was full of milk. I wish the walls were full of gold. I wish a lot of things. You foolish child, what in in heaven's name are you doing with a cow inside the house?
A warm environment might be just what Milky White needs to produce his milk.
It's a she. How many times must I tell you only she's can give milk?
Copy that.
Why, come in, little girl.
I wish.
Uh-huh.
It's not for me, it's
Three
for
different
my
families.
granny in
That's
the
Little Red
woods.
Riding Hood.
A loaf of bread, please. To bring my
Please.
poor old hungry granny in the woods. Just a loaf of bread, please.
Cinderella's stepmother.
Now, I don't know where Stephen is from, but the way that he writes almost gives me the feeling that I get watching English, like, humor from, like, the late like the 90s, early 90s, late 80s. Like that Monty Python sort of dryness. Like the way that the singing is, it's so dry. I want to go to the festival. It's like so forward there. And that to me just feels so British for some reason. Like the way they convey humor is so dry. And even the way of singing there just felt super dry. And of course that's by design to convey narrative in a very upfront way. So, just interesting. We have two totally different styles here. Dry, and then like the most, bel canto, beautiful singing. You're going to hear
Mother had a
in musical
surprise
theater at least.
for her.
Wow, realistic.
I have emptied a pot of lentils into the ashes for you. If you have
Props
picked
have gotten
them out
better.
again in 2 hours' time, then you shall go to the ball with us.
And perhaps a sticky bun or 4.
Birds in the sky.
See?
Birds in the
Totally
eaves,
different.
in the leaves, in the fields, in the castles and ponds.
And a few of those
Come, little
pies.
birds, down from the eaves and the leaves over fields, out of
Ooh,
castles
spooky.
and ponds.
Ooh.
No squeeze, pal.
Trumpets, what are you doing?
Little birds flick through the ashes.
This song is crazy.
But swiftly sift through the ashes into the pot. Listen well, son. Milky White must be taken to market.
Mother, no! He's the best cow.
Was? She's been dry. There's no food, no money, and no choice but to sell her, while she can still command a price.
Milky White is my best friend in the whole world.
Look at her. There are bugs on her
Milk
dugs.
is a great drink.
There are flies
Sorry,
in her
if you're not a fan.
eyes. There's a lump on her rump big enough to be a hump.
A hump?
Son, we've no time to sit and dither, while her wither with her.
That is the same line as from Phantom of the Opera. Na da 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 ma na 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 na. No more na 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 na. Is that Angel of the Music of the Night? Anyway, yeah. So I love Stephen Sondheim for one reason particularly. His music is so rich that for me it's hard to sort of feel smart with Stephen. Like some music, you're a trained musician, you analyze it, and you're like, I completely understand every part of the song. But with Stephen, there's no chance. But that's what I like about him. Because for Stephen, if you're listening to this, you're watching this show right now, what Stephen does an amazing job of doing is he, unlike a lot of other artists, especially like musical writers, does not treat his audience like they're dumb. He treats their audience like they're just as smart as he is. Which means when he conveys his songs, he doesn't dumb it down. He keeps it super enriching, like super in depth, with everything, like a lot of the thoughts, not everything, but a lot of the thoughts that he's having in his brain, and he lets you sort of figure it out, experience it. For instance, like we heard the winds, and we heard the strings start bowing fast, and for me that felt like the winds, and the trumpets were like the loud calls, maybe of birds. But maybe even the animals of the forest. So he will paint that picture for you. And does he take minutes to go, look, birds? No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that. He doesn't have to because he thinks you're smart enough to put that together. And that's what I think that's the most like that's the biggest compliment I could give a composer, or at least a composer can give to you, is to respect you enough that they're not going to dumb what they're doing down. So you just, oh, my poor audience can't understand what I'm thinking. No. And I hate when, you can feel when composers do that, and I hate that. You guys know that. All right. So excellent composing. Obviously, it's Stephen Sondheim, known as one of the best.
No one keeps a cow for a friend. Sometimes I fear you're touched.
Into the woods, it's time to go. I hate to leave, I have to go. Into the woods, it's time, and so I must begin my journey. Into the woods and through the trees to where I am expected, ma'am. Into the woods to grandmother's house.
Okay, we're going to grandma's.
Into the woods to grandma's house.
Where's your Red Riding Hood?
The way is clear, the light is good. I have no fear, nor no one should. The woods are just trees, the trees are just wood. I sort of hate to ask it, but do you have a basket?
Okay, what's really interesting to me is that this part seems almost like the most normal part we've heard so far. Da da da, hot cross buns, super easy to sing, super easy to understand, Red Riding Hood. I don't know. I think it's meant to sort of show her innocence. Maybe that's how I'm taking that. And again, this is what Stephen's going for. He doesn't just write. He doesn't just write for the sake of writing. He does everything by design. That's kind of like those people in the magazines where like someone's striking a pose and you're like, why did they choose that pose in that photo? It's like, oh, there's a reason. There's always a reason behind every single photo. There's always a reason. So what is the reason behind the composer doing, what feels like to be like almost a nursery rhyme, like singing wise? Probably to show how young she is and impressionable she is. Maybe. We don't know.
Save
It's
some
fun
of
though.
those sweets for Granny.
It's fun to think about that stuff.
Into the woods and down the dell, the path is straight, I know it well. Into the woods and who can tell what's waiting on the journey. Into the woods to
It sounds like a folk song that I would teach my students. I work with preschoolers.
For all that I know, she's already dead. But into the woods.
I wouldn't teach that.
Into
But
the woods to grandmother's house and home before dark.
yeah, yeah, that was a crazy piece. I mean, it had 3 different like songs going on, not songs, but 3 different like narratives going on, conveyed at the same time. Reminds me of, what is it, the Mozart piece where there's like 4 people on a stage telling their stories at the same time, but I forget what piece that is. Remind me in the comments, and if you're my music history professor, yell at me in the comments.
Birds, back to the sky, back to the eaves and the leaves.
Do you hear that?
and the fields
What is
and the
that?
carry
French?
on and do my hair,
Sorry.
Cinderella.
Soprano saxophone? What is that? So spooky.
Birds, back to the sky, back to the eaves and the leaves and the fields and the carry
Hurry up and do
So
my
spooky.
hair, Cinderella. Are you really wearing
Cinderella.
Here I found a little test.
Oh, that's
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Can't you hide it with a hat? You look beautiful. I know. She means me. Put it in a twist. Who'll be there?
Father said be nice, father said be good. That was always their advice. So be nice, Cinderella. Good, Cinderella. Nice, good, nice. What's the good of being good if everyone is blind and you're always looking blind? Never mind, Cinderella. Kind, Cinderella. Nice, good, nice. Kind, good, nice.
Not that tight.
Ouch.
I'm sorry.
Claude.
Because the baker had lost his father and his mother in a baking accident.
A baking accident. Those are
At
common.
least that's what he believed. He was eager to have a family of his own and concerned that all efforts until now had failed.
Who might that be?
We have sold our last loaf of bread.
It's the witch from next door.
So, hold on. We got Cinderella. We got Red Riding Hood. Now I'm trying to think what old folktale has bakers in it. And they like her. Oh wow, she's pretty.
We have no bread.
Of course you have no bread.
What do you wish?
It's not what I wish. It's what you wish. Nothing cooking in there now, is there?
The old enchantress went on to tell the couple that she'd placed a spell on their house.
What spell?
Mean.
In the past, when you were no more than a babe, your father brought his young wife and you to this cottage. They were a handsome couple, but not handsome neighbors.
2,
You see, your mother
3,
was with
4.
child, and she
It's like
had
a rap.
developed an unusual appetite. She took one look at my beautiful garden and told your father what she wanted more than anything in the world was greens, greens, and nothing but greens.
It's a wrap.
Parsley, peppers, cabbages, and celery, asparagus, and watercress, and bitters, and lettuce. He said, all right, but it wasn't quite, because I caught him in my garden one night. He was robbing me, raping me, rooting through my rutabaga, raiding my arugula, and ripping my champion, my favorite. I should have laid a spell on him right there. Could have turned him into stone, or a dog, or a chair.
What is going on?
But I let him have the rumpy, and I'd lots to spare. Return, however, I said fair is fair. You can let me have the baby that your wife will bear. And we'll call it square.
I had a brother.
No! But you had a sister.
But the witch refused to tell him any more of his sister. Not even that her name was Rapunzel.
Okay,
went
we
on.
got it.
I
We
thought
got
I
it.
had been more than reasonable.
Okay. I'm gonna say it. All right, hold on. I apologize to my 6 fans that like 6, and that I went into that react blind in all of the comments, every single one, except for like 3, which were like, "You suck." Oh wait, I guess that was all of them then. Yeah. All of them were like, "You need to make sure that you look up the show before you watch it." Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I think if a story is well conveyed, then you don't need to look it up. I didn't know a single thing about this show. They just explained every single thing about it. And there's a lot of conveying of information here. And that's Stephen Sondheim, of course. But going in blind, there's a reason why for like this show it's okay to go in blind, but for the 6 and other shows it's not okay to go in blind. And it's the means of storytelling. And unfortunately, like if you're going to convey a very heavy narrative, you need to convey a lot of information with a lot of words. They just did a rap. They could, like 6 could have started with a rap. Sorry to even go on 6 right now. But I'm just saying the storytelling that's going on right now is extremely helpful for me. And there's a lot of words, and there's still humor in it, and it's fun, and the music's good, and everything, nothing is broken because we had to start really laying on narration. So I just want to make a point of that Stephen Sondheim does it better than anyone else. Just helps you understand things. There's a lot going on. I mean, Sweeney Todd, there's so much going on in Sweeney Todd. So much going on. And how are you supposed to consume all the information without reading a whole book before you go in? Well, they convey it to you during the whole show. One step at a time. So it's not overwhelming. So for this one, that was a lot. But it was awesome. And it was enough. And I don't feel overwhelmed right now. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm understanding this one at a time. I feel like he is layering it in just enough so I can understand it without being confused. And also, it's still an entertaining show. So I just want to make a point of that. That this is why I like blind reacting. Blind reacting to me is entertaining because it's like, this is what he wanted me to do. He wanted me to start getting it one piece at a time. That's good. I don't know.
And that we all might live.
Hold on, I'm going to go back.
Not even that her name was Rapunzel.
Yeah.
She went on.
I thought I had been more than reasonable. And that we all might live happily
Ever. Oh, no.
thereafter. But how was I to know what your father had also hidden in his pocket? You see, when I had inherited that garden, my mother had warned me that I would be punished if I were ever
She's
to
dropping
lose
bars.
any of the beans. The
Beans.
special beans. I let him go. I didn't know he stole
Oh, is this
my
Jack in the-
beans. I was watching him crawl back over the wall when bang, crash, the lightning flash. And well, that's another story. Never mind. Anyway, unless the big I made my claim. Don't take it with the baby. They shrieked and screeched, but I did, and I hid it where she'll never be reached. Your mother cried, your mother died. For extra
Jesus.
measure, I admit it was a pleasure. I said sorry, I'm still not mollified, and I laid a little spell on them. You too, son. That your family tree would always be a barren one. No!
Oh, that's awesome.
So, there's no more fuss and there's no more scenes, and my garden thrives. You should see my nectarines, but I'm telling you, this is
You
like
see my
kings and
nectarines?
queens. Don't ever, never, ever mess around with my greens, especially the beans.
Dang, that was a fun one. that one was bars like the whole time. Oh man, it's so funny. Like how much has been here. I've never heard that piece before, and that's just awesome. This is awesome. I don't know, man. The rhyming was just out of this world. All about a garden. So we got beef. Even though this is all about gardening, we got beef between these guys because of stealing stuff in the garden and other stuff that was being conveyed. But yeah, anyway, pretty aggressive storytelling. I enjoyed it a lot. She's very talented. And you can tell, by the way, she's a very talented singer because of how she's creating these sounds. Those are like equivalencies of whistle tones that she's just, she's phonating with that on a laugh, which is awesome, just so awesome. So she's an amazingly talented person. You could already feel it. Hopefully she has a big role in this.
Now listen to me, Jack.
New characters again.
And fetch the
The other
best
ones.
price you can. Take no less than £5. Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Now how much you to ask?
No more than 5?
Less than 5. Jack.
So this is
Head
Jack.
in a sack. The house is getting colder.
And the beanstalk?
This is not a time for dreaming. Cheese tack starting to crack. The mice are getting bolder. The floor's gone slack. Your mother's getting older. Your father's not back. And you can't just sit here dreaming pretty dreams. To wish and wait from day to day will never keep the wolves away. So into the woods, the time is now. We have to live, I don't care how. Into the woods to sell the cow, you must be.
Hold on. Why does this remind me of another song? What is that? What is that from? I've heard that theme before. Maybe it was this song. Maybe I heard the song before then.
Time is now, we have to live, I don't care how. Into the woods to sell the cow, you must begin the journey. Straight through the woods and don't delay, we have to face the marketplace. Into the woods to journey's end.
Into the woods to sell a friend.
Someday
So far, it
you'll
doesn't
have a
seem-
real pet, Jack.
Maybe
A
it's
piggy?
alluded to in another song that I've
Meanwhile,
heard.
The witch, for purposes of
I've
her
heard
own,
that theme
explained
before.
how the baker might lift the spell.
You wish to have the curse reversed.
Let me stop because before we get into it more. So far, amazing show. I mean, I'm already kind of invested in this one just because of how much narrative was conveyed that I understand and see where it's going. We're gonna go into the woods next. There's a lot going on in there. All these different, like, you know, is Disney? Is this all Disney? I'm not sure. All these different Disney things coming together, and I wonder how that's gonna play out. It's gonna be fun. But what I will say real quick is that a lot of this feels like American folk songs. If you've ever heard American folk songs, they're like the stuff that you hear when you're young. And one song is, over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go, the horse knows the way. All is, I mean, there's so many. There's a zillion. I teach them for a living, pretty much. And this show gives me American folk song. It gives me, like, that same vibe, where there's American folk song melody happening, and then there's all this chaos around it. That's getting us through, you know, a very rudimentary theme made complex by the surrounding being chaos. So far, really interesting to see how a composer's making this work, and I'm enjoying the show a lot. So that's going to be the end of part number 1. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. If you liked the video, please hit a like on it. If you really liked the video, please consider hitting a sub on the video. That would help me a ton with the algorithms. And also, if you don't mind, if you really support the content, this was chosen by my patrons who said, Nick, watch this or else. And so I did. So whatever they say, I do. So if you want your musical to be reacted to next, your favorite musical, then check out the Patreon, in which our newest poll is up right now. And you can vote on it now. All right, and that's going to be it. I will catch you all on the flip side. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Bye. And a huge thank you to all of my patrons. All of you make this possible. I appreciate all the support.
The flip, the flop, the flippity flip, the flipsy-tee, Flippinator. You got the flip on the left, you got the flip on the right. That's a flip, man. The flip, the flop, the flippity flip, the flipsy-tee, Flippinator.